Hey folks, how you doing? If you're new to the channel, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. And while you're at it, hit that like button. Share out to your friends and family. Now this story was shared with me by a distant cousin. It said that his great-grandpa talked about a time back in these old East Tennessee mountains. Probably would have went back to early 1900s. Said back then, where they lived, his mother-in-law lived not far from them, and she was a widow woman. Well, said she was terrified of storms. Well, one evening it come up a great big old bank cloud, big old thunderhead. So Willie got ready, and she didn't live too awful far from him. Said he had to go through a path through the woods to get to her house. Well, he took off. Said the wind was blowing and everything else real hard. So he went up there and got her. He was escorting her back. Well, as they was coming along the path there, said just out of nowhere, said the wind just stopped. Thunder, said the old thunderheads up above them, said you could still see lightning, flashing in the clouds, but you couldn't see the lightning itself, just the clouds of lightning up. But there weren't no sound. Well, said they just kind of stopped, said they just thought that was just the strangest thing they'd ever seen. Never seen anything like that happen in the mountains. Well, they decided to keep on going. Because his mother-in-law, our elder, said that weren't a good sign. So as they took off, they got to noticing where everything around them was dark, was starting to turn almost like a orange, like hue almost. Well, said out of nowhere, said these three strange lights come out of that, the lightning of the sky, and come down and hovered over the mountaintops. Said they just stood there and watched them. Said it was three round balls like. Said they was real bright, but they didn't give off no light, like a flashlight or anything. Well, said they sit there and watched them forever. Said they'd ease over the mountains, the ridges. One of them would ease off down in the holler, and they'd come back up. Said they'd go back up in the sky, and they'd rotate around, just in a circle. So then they'd break up again, ease off and start almost like they was exploring. It's the strangest thing they'd ever seen in their life. So they just stood there staring. Well, said all of a sudden, said they morphed into one giant ball of light. And said it made one big circle around that whole area. And then just shot back up in the sky in the blink of an eye. Well, said as soon as it shot back up into them clouds, said there was an enormous clap of thunder. Said it just jarred that whole ground. Said you could even see the leaves shaking. Said they hurried them up, hurried up and went on back to their house there. And said as soon as they got there, said his great-great-granny there, they got telling her about it. They said, sorry, we didn't get back in time. This happened and stuff and everything. She was just looking at him awful funny. Said, what are you talking about? Well, they sat there telling her what happened. She said, well, I didn't see nothing like that. She said, all it's been doing here, she said, that I've seen, it's just the wind blowing. Kind of dark a little bit. They ain't seen no lightning, they heard no thunder, no nothing. They said that was almost impossible. Said the flash of them lights, that lightning in the sky, and the way that thunder just jarred that, the ground. Said there was no way she didn't hear it. Well, the next day they got to asking some other neighbors, that preaching. Nobody else heard it neither. Except one man who said he was out, trying to get his horse back in the barn there. Said his horse got out. He seen it. He seen one of the lights come down. But that was it. Everybody else in that whole area in the mountains didn't see it. But it makes you wonder. Maybe it was a UFO. And did it put like maybe a dome over where they was at? Anybody that it was aware that seen it? Or what? What could it have been? Could it be explainable and just be some kind of weather phenomenon? I don't know. But it was definitely mighty strange. Now, what about you folks? What do you guys think it might have been? Let us know in the comment section below. And Jimmy, what do you think it could have been?
Well, we've been getting some odd ones here lately, hadn't we? This one, yeah, definitely odd. I think a lot of people will probably say, well, maybe it was ball lightning. But I don't know if ball lightning behaves like that, you know. So these were 3 little spheres that floated around in kind of a weird pattern. And then they combined together and then took off. But yeah, I don't know if ball lightning can do that. Maybe it can. Maybe it can't. I'm sure people will let us know in the comments. Personally, I think it was UFOs or a single UFO. Maybe it was some kind of ships that combined and or maybe it was a drone, some kind of alien drone. They split off checking out the area, and then they came together and took back off into space. Could have been. That would make sense. Kind of makes sense. Definitely a weird one. And don't forget the odd weather patterns. Gosh, that's just downright terrifying. But yeah, I'm going to go with some kind of weird alien experiment on the weather, or some kind of test. Or it could have also been the government. Who knows? Man, that's weird. Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. You know, let us know what you think of it. And don't forget to check out Jared over on Jared King TV, my co-host here. He's got his own YouTube channel called Jared King TV. He does Appalachian stories, spooky ones, weird stuff like this, and heartwarming stories. So look him up on YouTube. That's Jared King TV. And then if you've got a story you'd like to send us similar to this one, you can email us at spookyappalachia@gmail.com. Just send us your story, and it might get featured on here. And then last but not least, don't forget, stay spooky.